Hey guys, welcome back and let us learn price determination under perfect competition today. Now, as we know, the price is neither determined by the buyer nor by the sellers under perfect competition as there are large number of buyers and sellers. So none of them can influence the price. But the price is determined by the interaction of demand and supply forces working in the market. And this price, whichever is determined by the demand and supply forces, that price is known as equilibrium price. So under perfect competition, the market operates at the single uniform price, which is known as equilibrium price. Now let us elaborate and let us understand how this equilibrium price is determined under perfect competition. Now this can be explained with the help of schedule and diagram. Now let us move on to the price determination schedule, that is demand and supply schedule. I have written everything clearly on the board, so have a look at the board. Demand and supply schedule. I have taken totally 4 columns we have to make for this particular table or schedule. First will be price. Here I have taken price per kilogram of apples in rupees. Then second will be demand or quantity demanded, which is in kilograms. Then third column will be quantity supplied, again in kilograms. And the fourth one, we will establish the relationship between demand and supply. We will see what is the position of demand supply at a particular price. So let us start with the schedule. Price I am taking from 100 till 500. So 100, 200, 300, 400, 500. Likewise, I am taking the price. It is per kilogram of apples. That's the price. Then demand, as we know that demand, whenever the price is lowest, the demand will be highest. So that's why at the lowest price of rupees 100, we are considering the demand. We are taking the demand for our example 5000 kg. Then what we will do is we will simply put the easiest numbers. From 5000 we will go in the descending order: 5000, 4000, 3000, 2000, 1000. Simple. And then about quantity supplied, we will just reverse this order again. So again in supply we will write from 1000 and we will go in the ascending order: 1000, 2000, 3000, 4000, 5000. I hope you got this. Now see how it reads. I will read it. At the price of rupees 100, demand will be 5000, supply will be 1000. I hope you understand this logic, because at the lowest price demand will always be the highest, but at the lowest price supply will also be lowest, because seller will be getting less profit. And we know there is a direct positive relationship between price and supply of the commodity. That is your third column, supply. So that's why at the lowest price, highest demand and lowest supply. So in this case, the relationship between demand and supply is demand is greater than supply. So there is excess demand in the market. Then next, as price rises to 200, demand will fall a bit to 4000, whereas supply will rise, because price is rising, so seller's profit margin is rising, and hence supply will rise to 2000, but still demand is more than supply. Similarly, we go to next, that is when the price rises to 300, the demand will be 3000 and the quantity supplied will also be 3000. That means here we are getting demand is equal to supply. So here we are getting our equilibrium price, because at this price the demand will equate supply. And if the price rise continues further in the market, that is say 400 and 500, then accordingly there will be continuous fall in demand can be seen from 2000 to 1000, and similarly the supply will rise. At 400 price the supply will be 4000 kg, and 500 price the supply will be 5000 kg. In both these conditions, that is price level of 400 and 500, at both these conditions demand will be less and supply will be more. So in short, we may say there is excessive supply in the market. So for us, the price prevailing in the market will be rupees 300, at which demand and supply both are equal at the price of rupees 300, and since demand is equal to supply, that is nothing but our equilibrium price, the price which will set automatically in the market, the price which will prevail in the market, and at that price trade will take place, business will be done at that price, that is price of rupees 300. Now let us move on to the diagram. Let me explain the diagram in detail. As usual, on the y-axis we have taken price in rupees per kg. On the x-axis we have taken quantity demanded and supplied. Of course, in kilograms we have taken. So we have plotted 100 till 500, and here on the x-axis from 1000 till 5000. Now first let us draw supply curve. So at the price of 100, supply is 1000. Then at the price of 200, supply is 2000. Then at the price of 300, supply is 3000. I have plotted the points accordingly. At the price of 400, supply is 4000. Then at the price of 500, supply is 5000. So as usual, we got the upward sloping supply curve SS shown in the diagram. Then let us draw the demand curve. For better understanding, I have dotted the green lines. I have marked with the green dotted lines for the better understandings of points of the demand curve. So at the price of rupees 100, the demand is 5000. At the price of 200, the demand is 4000. At the price of 300, the demand is 3000, and this is our intersection point. Here the intersection of supply and demand curve takes place because both the points are one and same only. Here the demand is equal to supply, which is shown clearly in the diagram. Then at the price of 400, the demand is 2000. That means as the price goes on rising, the demand keeps on falling. And at the price of 500, that is the highest price, the quantity demanded is the lowest, that is just 1000 kg. All these demand points I have shown with the green marker dotted lines for your better understanding that how I plotted this demand curve. Then you get a downward sloping demand curve. Please make use of proper scale for the best diagram, neat and clear diagram. Now we'll explain the schedule and diagram. From the above schedule, we may conclude that, and don't worry about the explanation, whatever we are seeing in the table, whatever we have drawn on the diagram, same thing we'll write just in our own language, own words, doesn't matter. So conclusion is, at the price of rupees 100, the demand is highest, that is 5000 kg, whereas supply is lowest, because at the low price, seller's profit margin is less, and hence sellers are supplying less at the less price. So supply is lowest, that is 1000 kg. As the price rises, demand falls because consumer is at loss, but supply rises because seller is at profit. Then second point, at the price of rupees 300, demand and supply are equal. Both are equal, DD equal to SS, and that's why it is called as equilibrium price, which we arrive at by the intersection of demand and supply curve. If the price further rises in the market, then what happens is, if the price further rises to rupees 400 and then to rupees 500, then demand keeps on falling with the price rise, whereas supply goes on rising because the seller earns more and more profit with the price rise. So as a result, there is excessive supply conditions in the market. So that's it for today. This was our price determination under perfect competition, where we saw the meaning, we saw schedule, table, and we got the equilibrium point, that is equilibrium price, which will prevail in the market, where the demand and supply curve intersected the point where demand was equal to supply. Demand and supply are equal, there we get the equilibrium price. I hope you got this. If you find this useful, do like and share this lecture. Subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.